had any issue. You're a sweet lady. Let's just put it that way. But that's funny. I don't like the powdered wheatgrass. I don't like the taste of it.
I'd rather have fresh by far.
Yeah. Well, I do it in capsules.
Oh,
I'll do freeze-dried in capsules. I use the brand Sweet Wheat. That's just a typical one that I use.
Well, I like the name of it too. Sweet
yeah,
Wheat.
It's cute, ain't it?
You little sweetie weedy.
That's why you smell so sweet.
Yeah.
But
so that's really good stuff to know.
Yeah, something that's really cool. I've seen this at Myers here in Essexville. I don't know where else they have it, but they have little plots of wheatgrass in the produce section. And you can literally go and buy a little plot.
I'm going to go buy some.
They're cool. It's cool. And it's actually the wheatgrass, which is sprouted wheat, but you have to harvest it within 7 to 10 days of sprouting. And for those of you who are gluten sensitive, it does not have gluten in it yet. So that is the wheat prior to gluten being made in the plant. So even people who are gluten sensitive can have wheatgrass. Mm-hmm. They just can't have full grown grain wheat. But the wheatgrass itself is very good. You can juice it. You can put it in salads. You can just eat it.
Oh, and it's so fresh.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's in the new place that's coming, the Bay City Market or whatever it's going to be called. There's going to be a juice bar there. And that was my favorite thing at the juice bar. I'd work out and get a little shot of wheatgrass, and man, I was good to go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping they're going to have that.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I'm super excited about that.
I think we should do our show from there when it first opens.
Ooh, I like that idea.
Okay, I digress. Go on.
We do.
So
we should do that.
Patrick is laughing. We have our faithful studio audience.
Yes, Patrick. I love it. So the other thing that you can do for wheatgrass, you can order it online. You can order kits and grow it yourself. Huh? You can order the juice. You can order the capsules. You can order the freeze-dried powder. You can get it in so many different ways. But wheatgrass is great for your liver. So I'm going to transcend back to gallbladder and liver. So, so the pancreas and the gallbladder, they work together. And when one's dysfunctioning, the other one has to kick it up a notch and then vice versa. So that's why it's super important to have that working properly for you. If the pancreas is mad, it can either refer pain to the left shoulder or it can refer pain to your middle of your lower back. How many chiropractic patients come in with middle lower back pain?
Probably 80% of them.
A lot of them. I mean, it's such a big issue for people. And sometimes you go and you get a little crack and you feel better and things go your way and you feel good. But sometimes you go in and you get adjusted and it doesn't help. Or, you have to go back and you get adjusted again and it doesn't help. And you get adjusted again and it doesn't help. Well, if that's the case, maybe somebody needs to check out your pancreas and needs to get that on track, and then that back pain will go away because it's a referral pain. Think of it. I always tell people, I don't know if any of you watch Family Guy, but I'm a big avid watcher of Family Guy. I like Family Guy. When the kids are in bed, I watch it. So, but Family Guy, they have a commercial on there with Stewie, who's the baby, and he's like,
football head.
Yeah, and he's like, Mommy, 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 Lois, Lois! And he's like screaming at her by the end, and it cracks me up because she's just sitting there tuning him out, And then I feel like that's how we are with our organs. Oh. I feel like they're trying to tell us something. They're like, Mommy, 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 Mommy. And nobody's listening. Not that they're not listening, but they're not interpreting correctly. So people are getting these pains, and that's their organs screaming at them. And they're like, oh, well, apparently my bone's out of place. Mm-hmm. Well, no, not necessarily. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's that organ trying to tell you something.
Because nobody taught us otherwise.
Right.
Nobody taught us that organs would refer pain to something else.
Exactly. And anybody can look this up anywhere on the internet.
So thank you.
Organ referral pain patterns. And you can see images of where different organs will refer pain. So let's talk about that a little bit. So left shoulder is pancreas. Right shoulder is liver and gallbladder. One time, for those of you who are familiar with the thumb, I used to live in Caseville. And Caseville is very well known for the Cheeseburger Cheeseburger Festival. And that happens in August. And my husband and I moved to Caseville maybe about 8 years ago, and we were there for about 4 years. And every year, people would come up to visit during Cheeseburger. Well, the first year we were there, it's like a 10-day festival. So it's
crazy.
Yes.
Parades.
And it's food, and everything is deep fried, and except for the cheeseburgers. But they do have deep fried cheeseburgers. And there is just so much, and it's an adult festival, I would say.
Yes.
They do have a few kids' activities during the day, but for the most part, it is an adult style festival.
Parrot head music at night.
Yes, and lots of drinking going on, lots of bars going open late. So, the first year we were there, we had a bunch of people come up. They're like, "Oh, you live in Caseville now? I think I'm going to come visit you." So like every 2 days we had a new set of people coming up to visit. And I'm not used to that. I'm not used to hosting a bunch of people all at once. So of course, I was trying to be a good hostess. So we would go out and we would go to the bar and I'd have 1 or 2 drinks. And, that's not a lot. I'm thinking, But I mean, when I drink minimally. Usually, once in a great while, you'll find me a little tipsy. But for the most part, I'll drink a couple drinks and then I'm done and I'm good. And that's maybe once or twice a week. It's not like all the time. So here I was at Cheeseburger and I was drinking like 2 drinks a night.
Night after
night. All of a sudden, I could not move my neck. My neck was stuck. And we had a dear friend who had a boat, and he was so kind. He's like, "Let me take you guys on this boat ride." And I'm like, "That sounds like fun." So we go out on the bay, and this guy just lets her rip.
Whoa.
I mean, we were flying, and I'm not kidding you. I was literally holding my neck because every time we'd go, we'd bounce on those waves.
That's as bad as a roller coaster.
Oh my gosh. I got back and I thought he wrecked me. I thought I was done for. Went to the chiropractor, got adjusted, felt better. The next day my neck stiffened up again. A couple days later, I couldn't turn my neck again. Went to another chiropractor just because, I've got a lot of friends in the chiropractic world. Well, the one wasn't available, so I went to a different one. Had a different style neck adjustment. Again, felt better immediately. Day and a half later, couldn't turn my head. And I'm like, what in the world? So here I am walking down the street one day, and I run into my friend who's a naturopath, and she's like, "Oh, your liver is very upset with you." And I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, I can tell by your eyes and you can't turn your head to the right. Yeah, your liver is mad." And I'm like, that is wild. So I started looking it up. Wow. This was early on in my career. Right. So I started looking it up, and sure enough, referral pain to the right side of the neck, right shoulder blade, down the right arm sometimes. It could be liver. I was like, oh my goodness.
Wow.
So I started taking milk thistle. And within 2 days, my neck was fine. Wow. I could turn my neck.
So see how simple that was. And if you would have gone to the doctor, I'm wondering now if that's what that doctor gave me when I came home from Europe.
Oh, yeah, when you were having all those issues after the whole egg thing.
Yeah, I think it may have been milk thistle.
Yeah, milk thistle is really good for your liver. It's good for cleansing, and it just makes it happy again, makes it functional again.
So if you would have, and I'm not dissing doctors, don't get me wrong. Right. I'm just saying try other things before you have surgery. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if you have that pain and it's not muscular or skeletal, and try that. What do you have to lose? Nothing. Because if you would go to a doctor would give you something to mask the pain, perhaps.
Yep. You'd probably get on painkillers and muscle relaxers and whatever else they'd give you.
And the liver would continue with your lifestyle to get worse. So try something different. Don't be afraid to.
Well, and the thing about milk thistle is you can get that anywhere. I mean,
anywhere.
Dollar General has great milk thistle. They have the Rexall brand milk thistle. It's like pure milk thistle in capsules. I think it's like 1,500 milligrams or something. It's great.
And all you have to do is read the label. And if there's a bunch of other stuff in there, don't get it.
That's right. They do have one brand. I don't know if they carry it anymore, but it was a complex, and the milk thistle amount was only 250 milligrams. And then they had a bunch of other stuff in it. I wouldn't do that. I would stick with the pure milk thistle and get the highest milligrams and just take that for like a week or so and see if that doesn't take care of it.
And then if it doesn't, then go to the next step.
Absolutely. But there's always things that you can try naturally first.
So if I came into your office and I'm having this pain on my right side, say, would you poke around at my stomach to see if that was what it was?
I mean, not necessarily at your stomach. Your liver is under your right rib, but there are specific points that I know that I would check for reflexology purposes and for the chiropractic manipulative reflex technique and all of that. And not only would I check it and find it if it's there, but I would also balance it out and make it better right then and there.
And the other thing that I love that you do is you tell people what foods to avoid.
Absolutely.
And what they should eat more of.
Yeah, because, people get sick of me and they don't want to keep coming to me all the time.
Some people do. To some people, you're their little native.
I know, they love me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I try to tell you the most that I can so that you can take care of yourself, because I believe that's empowering. Like if you're at the mercy of the guy in the white coat all the time, that just makes you feel like nothing's under your control and you're just stupid and there's nothing you can do for yourself. And that's not at all.
It's disempowering.
It is.
And, and that's the whole thing that we try to teach our children and we try to do ourselves is to be in charge of our own lives.
That's right.
Live it the way that we want. And being open to different things is one of the best ways. And they can come to you and ask you all kinds of questions.
Absolutely. And if I know, I will tell them. And if I don't know, I will look them in the eye and I will say, I don't know. Sometimes I'll say I can research that if I feel like it's something I can learn about. But if it's something way out of my realm, I generally refer to other professionals. Like if somebody's asking me about something that I feel is more of a naturopath topic, I'm going to refer them to a naturopath.
Right.
If I feel like it's about essential oils, I'm going to refer them to an essential oil person. I'm not going to try to answer things that I know not of.
Right. And if they come in with a compound fracture, you're going to send
them
to the ER.
I'm not touching it. I had a lady walk in one time. She was probably all of 85 years old. Walked in with hip pain. I asked her what happened. She said a week before she had fallen, but she was fine, and it had steadily gotten worse. I said, you fractured your pelvis. She said, no, I didn't. I'm walking. I said, I don't care. You can walk in on a broken hip. You fractured your pelvis. She said, no, I didn't. She argued and argued. I said, I'm not touching you until you go get x-rays because you fractured your pelvis. I know you did. She said, there's no way. There's no way I could be walking right now. I said, you tell yourself whatever you want, but I ain't touching you.
Right.
So she went over. Sure enough, she'd fractured it in 3 places.
Oh, my God.
3 places. So if you break a bone, yes, you can move it. If you break a hip, yes, you can walk. If you break something, yes, you can still move it and function. It hurts, but it can.
But I as we get older and we have those arthritic pains and just all those stiff joint pain, I think our bodies get more accustomed to pain. So
they do.
She probably just another pain.
It's like, it's bruised. Just put me in place and call it good. I'm like, no.
I can take it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Funny. I'm sorry.
So that's really good stuff. I like that a lot. And reflexology is amazing. And that's one of the things that you kind of experimented on as you were growing up.
Yeah.
Finding how all those things are connected.
Yeah, because when you get really, really in tune to your body, you start to know what's going on without having to even think about it almost.
Right.
Like it becomes intuition. It really does. And so the more you practice at listening to your body, the better off you are. Because it's people who are just oblivious and they have no concept or understanding at all of what's going on. that end up having the most issues